Forcing hundreds of people to flee their homes. Why police now believe one of the newest fires may have been started by a person.
It'll be another day of dry and breezy conditions for the inland Northwest as we continue to track the wildfires and the wildfire smoke across the region.
Plus, with dozens of fires burning in our region, we hear from the experts about how to best protect yourself from the wildfire smoke. 14 large fires are burning more than 315,000 acres in the Pacific Northwest. More than 4,400 firefighters deployed all across the region. Now the Northwest states have moved to preparedness level 5. That is the highest level possible. And we're just 2 weeks into July. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. We are starting tonight in Chelan County with the Red Apple Fire we first told you about last night. That fire has now grown to more than 9,000 acres and more than double what it was yesterday. Mass evacuations are in place for more than 1,500 homes. And new tonight, sheriff's deputies have executed a search warrant at a home believed to be the origin of the fire. Eric Wilkerson with our sister station in Seattle has the latest on the firefight, both on the ground and in the air.
As night begins to fall, the smoke begins to fill the Wenatchee Valley, and we're learning that fire investigators have executed a warrant at the location where this fire is believed to have become. That's all we know about that right now, but we will keep you posted as we learn more. Meantime, in just over 24 hours, this fire has grown to more than 9,000 acres and is threatening more than 1,000 homes. Wendy Bowman nervously watches the hillsides as they blacken and fire creeps toward people's homes.
Right away when we saw the fires, we started packing up stuff because, you know, if we get an ember on this dry land, it's going up quick.
The Red Apple Fire broke out around 7 last night and spread quickly, fueled by winds and dust-dry brush. Within just a few hours, it was already threatening Wendy's neighbors just a few hundred yards away.
Oh, we were just watching from our back windows and we would see the flames come all around these houses and thought for sure that they were gone. So the firefighters have done an amazing job saving those houses.
About 200 firefighters from 4 counties and the state DNR are attacking the flames by air and on foot. Level 3 evacuation orders, meaning leave now, are underway. Approximately 1,500 homes are threatened right now, as well as orchards and even a PUD substation. The state DOT shut down part of Highway 97A just north of Wenatchee so crews could better attack the wildfire.
Plan of attack is to start with engine crews. We now have air assets doing significant amounts of water drops on the fire in an effort to increase that containment number.
A Red Cross shelter is set up at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. 8 people were here last night, more expected tonight. What is expected to be another restless night in Wenatchee and the surrounding hills as the fire continues to burn.
We're just waiting it out. Maybe get some sleep today because we've been up all night. Keeping an eye on that right there, so yeah. And praying for our neighbors.
At last report, this fire was only 10% contained, but help is on the way. An additional team of specialized firefighters is due in Wenatchee tomorrow, specially trained to protect people's homes.
That was Eric Wilkinson reporting. Heading now to west central Idaho, where the Snake River complex is now pushing 100,000 acres. That makes it the second largest fire burning in the U.S. right now. It's right behind the Bootleg Fire in Oregon. That one's burning more than 200,000 acres. Firefighters have 0% containment of the Snake River fire. It is one of the many fires this week that were sparked by dry lightning. The other complex fire burning in southeastern Washington is the Lick Creek Fire. It's now burning more than 63,000 acres. Crews have that fire 20% contained. Level 3, 2, and 1 evacuation orders in place for nearby communities.
When you smell smoke this summer, it's climate change. When you see our highways buckling because the road simply expands and buckles because of heat, it's climate change. When there's not enough berries because of reduction in production of quantity, it's climate change.
Today, Governor Jay Inslee declared that Washington has entered a drought emergency. It means the state can expedite emergency permits and funding assistance. The State Department of Ecology said this is the second driest spring on record since 1895. Well, the wildfires burning across the Pacific Northwest, creating hazy conditions for most of us right now. So right now, the current air quality is in the moderate category, but it was in the unhealthy for some range most of the day. And as these fires continue to burn across the West Coast, we can only expect more haze and smoke in our skies. Well, these extremely dry conditions and severe drought are driving factors in the rapid growth of all these wildfires. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us tonight from the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, what is the forecast looking like for all those firefighters?
Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on the winds, as that is the most important factor when it comes to just how we are tracking the smoke, the haze, and the wildfires themselves across the region. We were under red flag warnings today because our wind gusts were upwards of 25 miles per hour. Even right now, still looking at 15 to 20 mile per hour winds in that region of that Nespelem fire. Even our Doppler radar in Spokane, it just visually seen where those smoke plumes are heading, largely to the north and east on the backs of those westerly and southwesterly winds. There were those wind gusts today, about 20 to 30 miles per hour, pretty much the same thing tomorrow. So we are still under red flag warnings for those extreme and critical fire danger conditions, especially across the Columbia Basin, just because of how dry and how windy it is. And of course, we are still under a drought. As we go hour by hour tomorrow, another sunny and hazy day. Temperatures about 5 degrees cooler than it was today, but still low 90s across the region. And coming up, I'll have a detailed look as to where that smoke and haze is heading across the inland Northwest and what areas could still see air quality drops in the coming days.
We help each other around here. Doesn't matter what the difference is or, anything. We just jump in and help if we can, and we have each other most times, and that's all we have.
Level 3 evacuations have been lifted for the fire burning in Nespelem. It's now scorching more than 22,000 acres of tribal land. So far, crews have it 20% contained tonight. As of this morning, we know at least 14 buildings have been lost, and tonight residents are coming together and praying for the protection of their neighbors and firefighters. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley shares a special look.
Just 2 days ago, the wildfires scorched this area of Nespelem. Down below, you can see just how close the fire got to Dan Nanamkin's home. Now, his neighbor's home wasn't so lucky. It was lost in the fire. But over the last few days, Dan has been hosting private prayer gatherings. Today, he invited us to witness that sacred ceremony.
Our prayers are, with this connected to the wind, to the safety and to our people and to their well-being and their health.
Dan's niece and nephew joined him today to sing this healing song. In the distance, the wildfire smoke billows.
It's devastating. You see it's burning up our trees and up our wildlife.
Here they stand on the ground the fire nearly swallowed just days ago and pray for the protection of their community and the crews fighting the fire.
At one point, really thought this place was going to be lost. It came right up to us here and it surrounded us here. But we're really grateful to the firefighters. And we pray and for their protection and their safety and their health and their well-being.
With prayer and faith, Dan and his family hope the sky will clear soon and the flames will cease. In Nespelem, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Health professionals are urging that you prepare for how to deal with the wildfire smoke. It can irritate your lungs and your eyes and cause sore throats, headaches, even nausea. But there are ways to help protect your house from all that smoke.
That includes things like closing windows and doors. If you have a central air conditioning, putting your air on recirculate and making sure you have a good quality filter that will really take out those particles from the air. If you don't have central air, you can get a portable air filter.
Health professionals recommend a HEPA filter that can mechanically remove smoke particles. Your old cloth masks will not provide protection from the smoke. Only respirators or N95 masks can filter out those fine particles in the smoke. We know this is a lot of information. Our team now working 24/7 to keep you informed. You can stay in the know always by texting the word FIRE to 509-448-2000, and we'll send you a link to our live updates on KREM.com. Also, if you're able to safely take photos or videos of fires or smoke in your area, you can share those with us by sending them to that exact same number right there on your screen. All right, in other news tonight, remember this video we showed you last night? It shows the driver caught on camera swerving his pickup right there towards that little boy, narrowly missing him. It all started after an argument between kids in a Burley, Idaho skate park. Well, new tonight, the Cassia County Sheriff's Office has arrested the man accused of attempting to run that boy over. 26-year-old Michael Anthony Guizar is being charged with assault with intent to commit murder, felony injury to a child, aggravated assault, and reckless driving. He's expected to appear in court tomorrow. If convicted of those felonies against him, he could face a maximum of 29 years in prison. The man at the center of the controversial arrest back in February of 2019 has reached a settlement with the city of Spokane. Lucas Ellerman filed a lawsuit back in April against the city and 2 Spokane police officers who arrested him. The lawsuit claimed that the officers trapped Ellerman's truck in a snowbank after a pursuit. It also claims the officer smashed his windows, threatened to kill him, and then ordered a canine to attack Ellerman. One of Ellerman's attorneys today confirmed his client settled that lawsuit for $49,000. At the time, Ellerman was wanted on charges including second-degree strangulation and multiple assault and theft charges.
For us, it's more fortunate to have U.S. brand vaccine just like J&J or any Pfizer. So it's a great opportunity for us. So we are thankful.
Well, there's a new vaccination effort happening at ports in Washington and Idaho. The effort is helping vaccinate people from other parts of the world. Pop-up vaccine clinics have been happening around ports in order to get these essential workers vaccinated. Outside of the U.S., vaccine supply is actually very limited. So far, more than 1,000 sailors have been vaccinated at local ports since clinics began back in late May. Well, still ahead tonight, we have received a lot of questions from you about critical race theory and whether Washington is mandating it in its schools. So coming up after the break, we verify if that's happening. We're back in 90 seconds from now.